Those that have it say, I have it.
I have it.
Those that don't have it say, I ain't got it. Okay. Once again, Ephesians, the 4th chapter, and the 26th verse. Got it? Okay. I'm going to read from the New King James Version. The first word is what? Be. Okay. I'm going to read 26. We're going down from 26, 27, then we're going to skip down to 30. It says, be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your wrath, nor give place to the devil. Going down to 30, it says, and do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, by whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. 31, you ready? 31? Okay, everybody take a deep breath. Matter of fact, we're going to read 31 together. Ready, set, go. Let all bitterness and okay, and I'll read 32. It says, and be kind to one another. Be kind to one another. Tenderhearted, forgiving one another, just as God in Christ forgave you. Today's topic we're going to talk about the danger of anger. The danger of anger. If y'all don't mind, I would like to take a survey. If there is anybody in here at any point in their life, in their Christian walk, have you ever been angry at anybody?
Yeah.
Okay. You know, if I was sitting down, if I was asking myself that question, you know, I'd be standing up and raising my hand.
Yeah.
So, nobody in here never experienced anger? Okay. Okay, so we all have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, does that mean we ain't saved?
No.
How they say, and I'm still saved. And still saved. And never back.
That's right.
But it happens.
Yes.
But let's talk about the danger of anger. First of all, what is anger? Anger is a strong emotion of irritation or aggravation. In the Old Testament, anger is associated with the word nostril.
That's right.
Or nose. It means the flaring of the nostril. I don't know how to do my nose like that. I don't know how to, but yeah, okay.
There you go.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Anger is described as the strongest of all passion and emotion.
That's right.
Now, looking at verse 26, the Bible says right here, the first two words, it says, be angry. It says what? Be angry and do not sin, or sin not.
That's right.
So, the Bible tells us in verse 26 that it's okay to be angry. But on the other hand, on verse 31, it said get rid of what? All anger. Now, is the Bible contradicting itself? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Let's talk about it. The difference, even though it's the same word, verse 26, it says anger, and then in verse 31, it says anger. Even though it's the same word in spelling, it has two different meanings.
There you go.
Be angry, the word anger right there is actually speaking about righteous anger pertaining to sin. Pertaining to sin. Now, where does 31 come in. I'm glad you asked. 31 come in where it says, do not let the sun go down on your anger, which is the early stage of anger is okay. But where it gets into sin is when we hold on, when we refuse to treat it. We all have had anger in any part of our life or some part of our life. But there's a decision that we make. Either to let it go or choose to hold on to it.
That's right.
That's what we're going to talk about.
That's it.
So, in other words, when it's first detected, it's okay. But once it's first detected, what do you do about that? That's where you have to give to God. Now, like I said, when we talk about anger, be angry, that means be angry at the sin
Right. The same.
that happened.
Right.
But just like any type of thing, at the early stage it's okay, but when it's untreated, it becomes fatal. It's okay to take a carton of milk out of the refrigerator and put on the counter. It's okay, because you're going to use it or somebody's going to use it right then and there. But where does it become bad, or when does it become bad? When it's left on the counter. So it's okay. Once you're upset or angry, that's okay. But you have to acknowledge it. But if you don't acknowledge it, just like that spoiled milk that's left on the counter, it becomes contaminated. So the Bible does tell us, Matthew 5:25, agree with your adversary quickly. In other words, when you first realize that you're angry, deal with it immediately. Somebody say immediately.
Immediately.
Look at a banana. People that know me, I like bananas. Banana or potassium. It's okay to eat bananas. But what happens is if you eat too much or take too much potassium at one time, there is a lethal dose. Just like lethal injection. Lethal injection, there are 3 stages of lethal injection. The last stage, they call that the toxic agent. The toxic agent is a lethal dose of potassium. Potassium. Now, a healthy dose of bananas, it may be, let's say, 2 or 3 bananas a day. But a fatal dose could be 1,000,000 bananas within a few minutes. That's a lethal dose. So the same thing pertaining to anger. When it's not treated, when it's not acknowledged, when it's not dealt with, it's not released from the body. It's held on. That's why most alcoholics get drunk fast. Why is that? Normally your liver process, a healthy liver will process food or toxic within 12 hours. That's a healthy liver. But when a person have damaged liver because of alcohol, what does the alcohol do? The abundance of alcohol, it slows down the process of the liver functioning. So what happens if a person keeps drinking, their body is not getting it out, getting that alcohol out. So what happens? The body stores up the alcohol. So when they get a little drink again, what happened? It's already intoxicated because it was already stored. Same thing with anger. When anger is built up and not released, what happened? The slightest thing, like alcohol, you become emotionally intoxicated with anger. So we have to remember, anger is that kind of anger. Unhealthy anger is it's a selfish, undisciplined, and it's a revengeful sin. It's a sinful act. But we have to remember, what is anger? Anger is actually a spirit. The spirit of anger does not have direct access into you. Let me say that again. Anger does not have direct access to you. Well, how do we become angry? We become angry when we allow it to come in. Think about a combination on a door. If everybody have that combination to that door and leave the door open, anything and anybody can come through that door. But if that door is shut and no one have access to that combination, then nobody can get in. But as long as everybody have the combination to that door and leave it open, because spirits do not go in and close themselves off. It leaves the door open for like-minded spirits to come. So what we have to remember, when we refuse to deal with that spirit of anger, we leave the door open. Let me say it like this, we leave ourselves open. So we have to remember, we have to close the door and allow God to deal with whatever anger that we're dealing with. But also, anger does hinder your praise and your worship.
Yes.
Why is that? Because it's a spirit. John 4:24 tell us that God is what? Spirit. And those that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth, or reality. So in other words, if we deal with spirit of anger, we cannot effectively praise and worship God. Because we hold on to anger, which is something that our holy God can deal with within our hand. Now what he can do, he can receive it if we willingly give it to him. But he don't take it from us. Everything is a free choice.
That's right.
So we have to what? Release the anger. When you think about anger, think about this word, before that word, fire. Fire. The next time you look at a lantern or a candle, look at the different shades of fire. Right in the center is blue. That's the hottest part of the fire. Then the temperature decreases and it goes to yellow, then orange, and ultimately red. The hottest part of anger is within you, and it will control your emotional temperature. Verse 31, we're going to go to verse 31. Verse 31, it told us, read it again. Right. So what we're going to do, verse 31, the words that I'm going to speak about, it means all, meaning everything working together as a unit to produce one thing, a reaction from you. To produce a reaction. First of all, the first word is spoken about is the word bitterness. Bitterness. Think about bitterness as the candle. Bitterness refers to the settling hostility. You think about bitterness, think about, some of us men have dealt with this, silent treatment.
Yes.
You've experienced it, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. In other words, bitterness is really obvious to everybody. Paul spoke on the basis cause of bitterness, of bitter attitude. We cannot forgive people. An unforgiving spirit is the devil's playground.
Right.
And before long, it becomes the Christian's battleground. Silent treatment, bitterness. Any guys have ever had a young lady, might have been wife, girlfriend, present, or past. You walk in, you see them, hey, how you doing? You know, you can tell when they got that upset. Here it comes. They bite their lip. And you walk around there like this, complete silence. You're like, wait a minute. Something ain't right. Something wrong. Look, I done messed up somewhere.
Right.
Let me figure out what I done did.
Yeah.
So, what happened when there is silence? You don't even have to say anything. You can pick up. Something ain't right.
That's right.
There's something going on up in this house. There's something wrong with our relationship, and it must be me. So we have to look at bitterness. Bitterness is also associated with anger, and it is not a physical thing. Like I said, it is a spirit. So if bitterness is the candle, the first or the hottest part of the fire, which you mentioned, was the cold part, the center part. What is the center of fire? Anger. Anger is an inward fire of fury, rage. When you think of anger, think of attitude. Attitude. There's a difference between attitude and behavior. Attitude is how you think. Behavior is how you act. So anger is not with the, what you call it, behavior. It's attitude. So attitude, what people can feel. It controls, it consumes, it fills your mind, your will. This is the anger that verse 31 was speaking about. It controls your mind, your will, your emotions. It looks for revenge. Somebody say revenge.
Revenge.
Now we left the coldest part, the hottest part of fire. The next level is that yellow part. That is rage. Excuse me, wrath. Wrath is an outward fire or rage, which is your behavior. Anger is what people felt. Rage is what people see. Leaving wrath, going to the next one, clamor. That is to create a public cry. In other words, controversy.
There you go.
Think about those who may have hurt you.
Right.
Those that may have got you angry. If you don't feel like you being heard, after you have caught your attitude, and you're still not being heard, or you feel that you're being disrespected, after you dealt with a little wrath, you might have pushed them a little bit. You might have knocked over something that belongs to them, and they're ignoring you. What do you do now? You make a public cry. Controversy. Stir up mess.
There you go.
It happens. Now, after we done dealt with that, and they still not responding to us. In other words, we're not receiving that reaction that we're looking for. What do we do next? Evil speaking.
Yes.
What is that? Evil words.
Right.
Another word, verbal abuse. And it happens in the church. It happens. So the verbal abuse happens, and the funny thing about it, verbal abuse about them or to them. You understand? This is reality. So with evil speaking, with verbal abuse, all those things that I mentioned, each one of those, the colors of the fire, the anger, the wrath, the clamor, the evil speaking, all those things are a result of anger. But if you want to get rid of the anger, you have to get to the root of the cause of the anger. The root of the anger, or the cause of the anger, you ready? Hurt. 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 When you're feeling hurt or betrayed by an enemy, it will bother you. It will bother your feelings. It will hurt your feelings. When you're betrayed by an enemy. But the hurt or betrayal is deeper when it pertains to a friend or a family. The wounds of the soul cuts deeper when it's through somebody that you know. Which you did not expect for someone to say those things to you or about you. See, everyone has or can expect opposition from those outside of their circle. But when it happens to those that are within your circle, from those that you least expect, your closest confidant, your trust now becomes few. Your guard now becomes up. But see, when you fall, when you go to God, when you fall or when you fail in your relationship with God and talk to Him about your hurt, then it's okay. But if you fail to address it or give it to God or try to handle it on your own, then that's when it becomes an unhealthy anger. So what do we have to do? Think about this. Before you deal with any anger, you first got to deal with the hurt. I don't care how much anger that you deal with. If you don't deal with the hurt, it will grow to become anger again. Think about this. Imagine everybody want to kill all the butterflies. Imagine if they make a sanction right now to kill every butterfly right now. If we get all the butterflies that we see and wipe them out, does that mean that those butterflies will never grow back or come back? No. Because you might have killed all the butterflies, but you did not get rid of the caterpillar.
That's right.
Because the butterflies come from the caterpillar.
That's right.
So in other words, if you want to annihilate every butterfly from now to eternity, not only do you have to get the current butterfly, but you have to get the future butterflies, which are the caterpillars. So every time you don't address that hurt, what happens? Eventually, you might have dealt with that specific anger that you might have been dealing with or that you dealt with. But what happened in due time, sometimes the right opportunity happens to make that caterpillar of hurt become a flying butterfly.
That's right.
So you have to, let's say it together, deal with the hurt.
Amen.
We have to deal with the hurt. And like I say, I'm going to say it again later on. It does not mean that we ain't saved.
No, it don't.
It does not mean we don't love the Lord.
That's right.
It doesn't mean that, well, I'm a weak Christian. No one, please, don't go or base your salvation on the opinion of other people.
That's right. That's right. And you'll feel it.
So you have to remember, this is an individual thing. And all of us, at some point of our life, needed help, or need help, or will need help.
Yes.
That's why the Bible reminds us that iron sharpens iron.
Right.
Because in this Christian walk, eventually, no matter who you are, brother said, I'm gonna need you. And as long as we stay alive, eventually you may need me. Brother Homer, I need you. Sister Shirley, I need you. But eventually all of us gonna need each other.
That's right.
So that's the reason why we are family.
Family.
Whatever weakness I may have, this brother may help and strengthen me in that area.
That's right.
And vice versa. Where brother Jones may be strong in, I might be weak in. Or vice versa. That's why God made us to be able to depend upon each other. We need each other.
Yes.
And a lot of times the devil may try to play games with us because if we fall into sin, well, you don't need to go to church. Or you're dealing with an issue. No, you don't need to go to church because everybody gonna know your business. Look, the devil will talk to even those ministers too.
That's right.
The devil talks to everybody. Don't feel like nobody excluded from hearing from the devil. No, the devil, matter of fact, I'm going to tell you this. This is my witness. Before I came here, I went to Walmart and I had an opportunity to catch a case. Yes, indeed. And guess what? I'm still saved. I had the right hand of fellowship to go to jail today. But guess what? Thank God. God set the opportunity to get not what I need, not what I wanted at the counter, but what I needed.
That's right.
Because I had in my hand what I want. And this lady, I'm not going to say much about it because she might watch the video. But I could have chicken choked her. And I felt it in my go-to, Junior. Number one, not only you got to go to church, but dealing with you. And the last thing I want to deal with is Dylan's mama trying to find out why CPS got our son. And she still saved. So I'm telling you, the opportunity will come.
Yeah.
The devil, listen, it's not strange that the devil would try to put roadblocks in front of you.
That's right.
And also, like the old saying says, don't get mad when a bird flies over your head. The danger is when you allow him to build a nest over your head.
That's right.
So in other words, you got to be aware at all times. Especially when you know you're on an assignment. Because the devil will try to throw you off. The devil will try to distract you. And that's his job. But it's our job to what? Stay focused. Stay vigilant. Be on alert. Knowing when the devil comes, you can recognize, man, look, I ain't going to get upset. No problem. And then you see God will make a way of escape.
That's right. That's what he said.
Like he did.
Yes.
So I thank God for that. I'll tell y'all the rest of the story after church. Or I might post it on Facebook. But we have to remember, just like the butterfly, to annihilate every butterfly, we got to start with the beginning, the caterpillar. So when we don't deal with it, what happens, the devil will set an opportunity. That opportunity is the cocoon.
Right.
When hurt meets that cocoon and is left unattended, all of a sudden you see that cocoon open it up and that butterfly flies. So it's time for us to kill the cocoon. Somebody say, kill the cocoon.
Kill the cocoon.
And we'll kill the butterfly.
We'll kill the butterfly
And the caterpillar.
and the caterpillar.
So with all that being said, the other thing we got to think about, along with dealing with the hurts, we got to deal with unforgiveness.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Let's say it together. 1, 2, 3. Unforgiveness. Now let's talk about what forgiveness is. Forgiveness is to wipe the debt, to pay your enemy's bill of what they owe you, or what they've done to you. A lot of times people feel like, well, you know what? I ain't gonna forgive what they did because what they did, number one, it hurted me, it made me a little lost, but also I'm gonna get them back.
Yes. Yes.
So what does unforgiveness do? A lot of times we feel that when we hold on to unforgiveness, it's gonna hurt them.
Damn, no, it doesn't.
But in fact, it hurt
You.
exactly me. It hurts us. Say hurt us.
Hurt us.
It hurt us. It damages us. We always say, like, when you hold on to unforgiveness, unforgiveness is drinking poison and expecting somebody else to die.
Right.
Unforgiveness will mess with your mind, your emotions, and also your health.
Yes.
It will cause you to lose rest. Not just at night, but even in the daytime. Because what it consumes your mind, it consumes your life.
That's right.
Holding on to unforgiveness is also like getting a bad check and you put it in your account. You already know that their account from that person is bad, but because you see the dollar amount that they wrote for you, you feel like you're going to stick it to them, and you think that that money going to come out of their account. But we have to remember that account is closed. What happens when we put it into our account? We get overdraft fees, bounce checks, and if they do it continuously without us paying back, what happens? We end up getting a warrant for our arrest.
That's right.
And that's what happens to our emotional bank account. We think that holding on to unforgiveness is punishing them, but in fact, it's punishing us.
Right.
But also the Bible does tell us that it is our Christian responsibility to forgive them.
That's right.
Because forgiveness is not for them. No matter what they do, it's for us.
For us. That's right.
It cleans us and it keeps our spiritual bank account healthy. I would be crazy to have a glass full of poison and dump it out and then put some fresh water in it to give it to my son. That poison is still inside, even though I might have dumped out the liquid. There's some residue of poison still within. So with unforgiveness, what happens? It keeps the residue in our spiritual glass. It contaminates everything pertaining to our being. So what do we have to do? Somebody say, let it go.
There you go.
There's a song about a movie, Frozen. They said, let it go, let it go, let it go, let it go. That's what we have to do. Let it go. So when we think about that unforgiveness, if we release it, God can heal us. But when we hold on to it, we move to the next phase. The next phase is revenge. That means to wish ill or something bad towards those who hurt you. First of all, Romans 12 and 19 tell us, beloved, do not avenge yourself, but rather give place to wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine, says the Lord, and I will repay. Also, you can write down Leviticus 19 and 18. You shall not take revenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people. But also, you can write down Proverbs 20 and 22. Do not say a real recommends evil. And last but not least, 1 Peter 3 and 9 says, not returning evil for evil, or revealing for revealing. We have to remember, anytime we feel that justice has not been served, we want to take matters into our own hands. If we feel that there has been no justice toward those who have hurt us, we will take matters to our own hands, or we will wish something bad to happen to them. I've heard many people, I just use myself for an example. I've heard many people say something like this. Well, my man, he left me. I love the Lord. I sing in the choir and all that. And my man, he left me. He left me with all my children. He cheated on me. And then, guess what? I heard that he got sick and he lost his job. Ain't God good?
No.
Oh, I heard something happened to him. I heard he had a wreck. Thank the Lord. The Bible said, vengeance is mine. You sit your rat so beat yourself down. That ain't scripture. That ain't nothing like God.
Ain't no love either.
You know the bad, but like I said, it happens in the church.
Amen.
People wish ill on those who have hurt them. But in that scripture, the answer is no. What happened? It could be a coincidence. But number one, it's none of your business. In other words, you can't be looking back to see what happened to somebody that happened in the past. You need to be looking forward. It's a lot of people, and I'm going to say it like this. There have been a lot of ministries that have promoted that foolishness.
Right. Right.
And that is dealing with somebody's emotions, not their spirits.
Right.
And God will hold them responsible.
Sure is.
We should always pray for people. We're going to talk about it later on too. But you should always hold to pray. In other words, you wish the good for people. But when somebody have done you wrong, you get them to God.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a little trick that the devil was trying to do also. It's called reverse psychology.
Yeah.
Now, for the video purposes, this is my cousin. I can use her for an example. Tanya and I married, have beautiful kids. She loves the Lord. She sings. She do a lot for the church. She a loving wife. And then me, slick joker right here. I ain't going to church. She been begging, pleading me to go to church with her. And I said, I'll drop you off. I ain't going to no church. And I'm cheating on her. She's still faithful. Doing everything that she can do as a wife with the help of God. And then what happened? I said, you know what? I'm sick of this. I'm done with you. I'm gone. I leave her and all the children. And you know what? She raised her children. She raised our children by herself. I'm not supporting. And now the kids have all grown up, got out the house, and she's still going to church. But see, me, when I left, I was a big devil.
Right.
But then, throughout the course of life, I got my life right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I ended up meeting somebody else. And when I was with her, I was a big devil. But I got myself right. Got saved. Filled with the Holy Ghost. Met a young lady. Doing everything I could as a husband. Having children with her. And I'm taking care of our children over here. Now what happens? She finds out that no good joker that dogged her did her wrong. She's still my cousin. Did her wrong. Now she finds out I got myself right. But I'm doing right with somebody else. Now guess what happened? There's a seed that the devil tried to plant. See, look at her. See, where's your revenge at? If God was so good, he will repay everything that man did to you. But look at her. He left you with your kids, and now he got some more kids, and he's supporting his own kids over here, or her kids over here.
Right.
Now what happened? Now, if she hasn't dealt with that, what's going to happen? It's going to grieve her spirit. She'll become bitter. She'll become hard-hearted.
Yeah.
She'll become angry.
Yes.
She will look for revenge.
Yes.
But she would ask God, where is the justice? Because, look here, I did all I could as a wife, and he still dogged me. But, look like ain't nothing happened to him. Even David said, my foot almost slipped when I saw the wicked prosper. So where's the justice? Does that mean God don't love her? No, it doesn't. But what happens, she has to rely upon God to help her in spite of what he did. In other words, she has to make peace with who he was instead of who he is. Thank you for that. Thank you for your support. So we have to remember that it can happen. And I'm going to tell you like this. It happened more than we acknowledge.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny, but there's so many ministries. Like I said, there's some women ministry or women conference. All they do is male bash.
Right.
But then there are also some men conferences. They talk about their females, baby mama, the injustice that the law has.
Right.
Instead of, you know what, we're going to pray for our enemies. In spite of what situation, we're going to go ahead and we're going to rely upon God. So it happens. So what would he have to do? We have to allow God to deal with the revenge, not for us to deal with it ourselves. So that's the reason why if your spouse, or if your ex-spouse, ex-friend, ex-mate, whatever, if they are suffering, even if God is punishing them, you don't say, goody.
Right. No.
You pray for them. Because in the Bible, anytime God's wrath came, even somebody that was a witness that ended up seeing an enemy, glad what happened? God would not only deal with their enemy, but he would deal with them too.
That's right.
Back in the day, I don't think we ever dealt with that, but back in the day, we were hearing the old school parents, when a child is getting whooped, and another sibling make fun of that child getting whooped, their parent would now put the rod on the one that's laughing.
That's right.
So anytime the wrath of God is around, it's praying time. There's no time to be making fun of, well, ain't God good? You better be careful.
Right.
Because that same rod that you see, you're wishing evil on somebody. And that's unlike God. That's when it becomes sin. So we have to realize it does not mean that we ain't saved when we deal with our emotions. It actually means that we are a mature Christian when we can deal with it. See, a lot of times people just think, well, a perfect Christian or mature Christian is one who never falls. That's not the case. A mature Christian is one who acknowledges that they have failed and they get back up. That's a mature Christian. So the solution of all of that, forgive. We have to forgive. Romans 12 and 14 tells us, bless those who persecute you, bless and curse not. I want to talk about some words in verse 14 of Romans 12. Bless. What does bless mean in this particular verse? It means to speak well of, with praise and thanksgiving. To ask for God's blessing upon them, your enemy. which is God's action in their life, or which God's actions in their life, or for God to intervene to accomplish His will, not your will, His will, praying that they may be turned from their wicked and sinful ways. The word bless actually is a Greek word. It means eulogio.
That's right.
Which actually comes from the word eulogy.
Indeed, that's right. We get the word eulogy.
So we bless them who persecute us. We speak well of those who persecute us. What does persecute mean? Pursuing to do evil towards you, but this is the key thing. Those who persecute you is not meaning somebody who did something bad to you one time. Someone who continuously do bad to you. Repeatedly. Talk about when Christ wished ill on their enemy. When Christians speak ill towards their enemy, it hinders them. So we have to speak well of those who may not even speak well of us. Romans 12 and 15, rejoice, means celebrate, when with them that do rejoice. Even if your enemy is rejoicing, rejoice with them. And weep when they are weeping. Romans 12 and 20 and 22, excuse me, Romans 12, 20 and 21 says, therefore, if your enemy is hungry, y'all know the rest?
Feed
What?
it. Feed it.
Feed him. Your enemy. Starve him.
No.
Leave him alone.
No.
Feed him. Feed him. If he is thirsty, give him what?
Something to drink.
Rat poison.
No.
Keep on riding.
No.
If your enemy is drowning, you throw them a bowling ball. Let them sink on. No. If your enemy is drowning, give him a life jacket. If your enemy is thirsty, give him something to drink. For in doing, you will heap coals of fire over their head, or his head. But also 21 says, do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. My dad used to always say, kill them with kindness. We're a work in progress.
That's right.
It's okay to admit that.
That's right.
But when we have to remember, in all that what have happened to us and what people have done to us, realize God is concerned about you. He wants to know your hurt, your pain, your frustration. He wants to know about it. He is concerned about those who hurt your heart. Psalms 34, 18 and 19 tell us, the Lord is nigh, which means close. That means look very close. He's next to. To them that are broken hearted, that means shattered, devastated. The heart, which is the seat of your emotions, your will. And save such as be of a contrite spirit, which means when your spirit has been crushed to dust.
That's right.
When there has been, you know, like when a building has been demolished and all this just dust. When someone has crushed your spirit so badly that it just dust remaining. When it's just ashes. So we have to remember verse 19 reminds us, many are the afflicted. That means much evil of the righteous has happened. But the Lord has delivered them out of all. The Lord has delivered all, no matter what situation has transpired. The Lord has delivered all. Also, 143, 147 and 3, Psalms 147 and 3 tells us, for he heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. The ultimate thing, in order for you to be able to think about forgiving someone, think about when Jesus was on the cross.
Right.
When Jesus was on the cross, you think about it, you're going to get ready to die. The first things on your mind, you think about the things that are important that you want to make sure that people know. But what did Jesus say? He said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they're doing. In other words, Jesus stood in the gap towards his enemies. But if you notice, Jesus didn't say, Father, I forgive them. He said, Father, forgive them. In other words, he made peace with what they did. So God, I'm standing in the gap. Forgive them. In other words, I'll pay the debt. So when we think about those who have hurt us, we have to forgive them. But realize, even though they may have hurt us, they may have done some weird things, some crazy things, some disrespectful things, I want y'all to see this. We still forgive them. Number one, this is a ball. I can put my hand over this ball and try to drown this ball, but as soon as I leave my hand off the ball, what happens?
Flow back up.
Floats right back up. No matter how many times I try to keep this ball down, it's going to come back up. As long as there's air in this ball, it's going to come back up. That air is breath. The air is life. You are the ball too. No matter what people have done or said to you about you, as long as you have breath in your ball, lungs, life, you're going to come back up. But see, once I get this ball out the water, and allow this towel to dry, you can't tell what it's been through.
That's true.
Why is that? Because it's going to always bounce back up. It's going to always have light. But as long as I don't allow the water to come within the ball, as long as it's sealed, the Holy Ghost has sealed you.
That's right.
What happens with this ball does not define the ball. We have to remember, as long as there's breath in our body, as long as I have air in this ball, there's always life. There's always purpose for this ball. As long as there's air in your lungs, you still have purpose, regardless of how many times people try to dunk you. That doesn't define who you are.
That's right.
You have to remember, God manufactured you. He made you for a purpose, regardless of somebody misusing the purpose. It does not define who you are. So what do we have to remember? We have to remember, as long as there's air in this ball, there's life in this ball, there's purpose. Same thing with you. As long as there's air, as long as there's life, as long as there's breath in your body, you still have purpose. You still have life. No matter what you've been through, it does not define who you are. No matter if somebody did something to you, or you did something to yourself, it does not define who you are. Now, it's not what people have said or done to you that defines you, but it's your response to it. You can choose to stay down. You can choose to talk about how many times you've been dumped while you're still out the water. Nobody would know your story until you say it. So what do we have to do? Talking about our story is one thing, but giving people our testimony is another. Because a lot of times people may think that they're testifying, but in actuality they still are not recovered from what they dealt with. There's a difference. You can tell because there's an emotion that's still attached to it. You can tell when people are hurt. But when people have been healed, they have no shame of what they went through.
Right.
But God wants us to get to the point of being able to tell our story with confidence. Not in our own ability, but in His ability. Knowing who God has been in the midst of what I've been through. So we have to remember our response is important. And also remember we have to be able to forgive those who hurt us. Forgive those who talk bad against us. Forgive them who did evil towards us. And as we get ready to bring this to a close, what do we need to do? God wants us to get the anger out of danger. As long as you have anger, right here, it still be danger. But if you can get the anger out of danger, you have whatever lever that you want to put up. You can have deliverance, delivered. You can have delight. Whatever you want. But the choice is yours. But as long as you have danger, there's always anger attached to it. So what we want to do, we want to, like the Bible told us, to be able to forgive. What we want to do, a little something different. Those that see this, I do have a paper shredder. This is a paper shredder right here. And there are people that might have hurt us in the past. There are people that have done us wrong. They may not have ever came back and apologized for the wrong that they've done. But what we're going to do anyway? Forgive them. So what we're going to do, for those who want to give their problems, release the hurt, the anger, and forgive those who have hurt them, what we're going to do, we have some receipts that are here. You can write there their names. You can write down the incident, whatever you want to write. And that's going to be the bill that they owe you. But after you write it down, what do you want to do? You cancel their debt. You allow God to handle it as you move on with your life. Whatever situation may have transpired, you can write down their names, but also a lot of times it's easy for us to write down the names of many of those who may have hurt us, but sometimes we have to realize we have to write our own names down, and sometimes we hurt ourselves. Sometimes we don't forgive ourselves. A lot of times we can easily forgive a lot of people, but a lot of times when we look at it, we hold on to hatred, unforgiveness towards ourselves. Sometimes some regret of what we've done in the past or what we allowed in our life. So no matter what it is, as long as we angry at the sin, it's not a sin. But where it becomes a sin is we become angry at the sinner.
That's right.
As long as we angry at the sin and pray for the sinner, then it helps us to have a healthy spiritual life. But as long as we turn it from the sin to the sinner, then it will hurt us. It will damage us. It will affect us for the rest of our life. For those who want prayer, for those who just want to touch and agree, you're welcome to come to do so at this time. I have these here. I don't have to look and see what's on there. Ain't none of my business. They're between you and God. But you know what? I'm going to first start. I'm going to write my own ticket for those who I might have allowed to hurt me, or even the situation. Because as long as we think about the event, that's not a sin. Whatever happened, as long as we think about the event, it's not a problem. But as long as we put a face to the event that happened. thank God for Him allowing us to pay the debt. To those who have hurt us, thank God for those no matter what situation it was, God is able to shred everything.
Right.
Hey, Shirley, get one right my name for me. Get one right my name for me. My name, yours, Larry, Richard, and then we'll shred it.
Even at the end of the day, even after the end of the message, as we going on, I keep this here until we get ready to leave out. If by chance you think of something, you're welcome. It'll still be plugged up. As a matter of fact, later on, if you need to, you're welcome to go to your local Kinko's, Office Depot, Walmart. They got some there. You just walk up in there, go to the bank. Matter of fact, just go there and ask them, do you mind shredding this for me? And no matter what, God is able to heal and set us free.
Yeah.
I thank y'all for y'all listening, y'all attentive ears, and I pray that whatever was said minister to y'all and also an encouragement for us to do what God wants us to do. And that's being the will of God to give everything to Him once and for all. Now we're going to go ahead and turn to the hands of our deacons at this time for us to